Hello, friends, and welcome to a "Why Did I Lose" episode. I'm not sure. This will either be the third "Why Did I Lose" episode in a row. I promise that probably won't happen again in the future. But maybe this is a replay analysis. I'm really not sure what to do with this because it's kind of weird. What I want to talk about, though, I think, is most games are not supposed to make it to the ultra late game, which is where you go into like the 60 plus minutes of a game. The average game time is around 35 minutes, varies based on rank, but usually one of the teams is supposed to win before you make it to the ultra late game. And the reason you get to the ultra late game is not because everyone is playing their best game ever. It's usually because people are not doing anything or mistakes are being made, which is very understandable because it's a tough game. But that is what is happening. That mistakes are happening that drag the game out. And so that's what I want to focus on today. We're going to look at a bunch of different mistakes that it is the Dire team. Gibbs, he submitted this. He plays Earth Spirit in this game. We're actually not going to focus on him. A lot of it is going to be team-oriented stuff with a strong focus on Anti-mage. Not to blame the guy or anything, but that, supports our impact is like the first 15 minutes, and it's like when we get to this part of the game, it's kind of the carries, so, we're gonna focus a bit on him and the mistakes the team makes that drag the game out to the ultra late game and eventually lose. Now, if you're a support player thinking, well, I'm not the carry, so how do I address that? We are going to highlight the mistakes they make and keep in mind that maybe we can set a game plan by talking to our team and say, like, hey, when a fight breaks out, Anti-mage jump the back line. He's still responsible for playing his own hero, but by telling him something like that, hopefully that plants it in his mind, like, this is what I need to do so he doesn't mess up a team fight later. Or, like, help direct your team. Hey, this is our power spike. We need to win right here. That is how you can help direct your team, even though we're the supports. And so even though the focus is not support-oriented, I think there's still something here to learn as a support player. So with that long entrance out of the way, Roshan dies 28:04. You'll notice this is a 90-minute game. We're not going to go into the whole thing, but we will focus roughly on the next 35 minutes looking at different mistakes. Let's zoom out because a lot's going to happen in this game. Now we can zoom on here. The idea is that we just got Aegis. This is the first Roshan. Let's look at net worth. Anti-mage is up at the top. Arc Warden's doing a little better than I think. But Dire is well in the lead. 10k ahead. Anti-mage, he's picking up a lot of items. Spectre, his counterpart, quite far behind. This is our power spike. Anti-mage is not an ultra late game hero. Many people think he is. Anti-mage is a mid-game and slightly late game hero. Spectre and Arc Warden are late game and ultra late game heroes. That's why when we don't capitalize on the power spike this game, we end up losing on Dire because the enemy team, their draft is just better to handle the late game. So first off, we got Aegis at 28:04. Look how long it's taking to get going. It's now a full minute later. We get a pick off. It's time to push. You know what? That's fine. Maybe we could have done it a little sooner, but we're going now. Not a big deal. We decide we're all top. Let's push top. No, I think that's fine. We'll get this tier 2 tower. Now, if we win a strong fight, maybe we can get megas. First mistake by Anti-mage right here. 29:49. Where's he going? Wind Ranger is dead for 18 seconds. We are 9k. Yeah, I mean, you don't know that in the game, but you should feel you're massively ahead. He has Aegis. Where's he going? He's going to the mid lane and then realizes I shouldn't be here. The creeps get here. They're already here. Anti-mage could be hitting this tower already. But now by the time he gets here, finally hits it at 30:03. He could be hitting this about 10 seconds ago at 29:53. That's what my notes say, okay? So we're going to go with it, even though I didn't quite show when the creeps got here. But the creeps got here at around 29:53, which means if Anti-mage had just walked up, he could be hitting the tower 10 seconds ago when Wind Ranger was 16 seconds from respawning. Instead, she's now almost up. Let's slow down a little bit. And we still take the tower pretty fast because of the heroes we have. Look at this. We almost have this. Uh-oh. Who's this here? We are like a second or two away from getting racks and getting out. Like 2 seconds, and we would be out of here. But instead, because Anti-mage got distracted for a bit, for 10 seconds, we now have both of our highest net worth heroes shackled together. And we don't have the racks yet. Even though we're 9k ahead, and we have Aegis, look how much damage AM is taking, because Arc Warden is pretty farmed himself. Equally farmed. He's like 1k behind. He still does a lot of damage. And now this level 23 Anti-mage, I mean, most of the damage came from Arc Warden, who is 3 levels below him. But now this level 17 Spectre, who is what? 7k gold behind him, just killed him by herself. I mean, he's got Aegis, but should this have happened at all? No. We should have gotten this cleanly. Everyone backs out, have 5 heroes still against their 5 heroes, our huge gold advantage, and the Aegis, and we just move down. But instead, we've messed this up. We're now losing this fight. We've lost Aegis. Let's take a quick look at levels, by the way. We're not going to go into all of them. Wind Ranger starts this at 14. She was close to 15, but she was level 14. And we'll pay attention to some of their levels throughout this fight. Now, we get Night Stalker. Cool. All of us are really low. Don't forget we lost Aegis. Now Arc Warden's going to clean up this Lina and this Wyvern here. Wind Ranger got 3 levels. More like 2.5, I guess. Arc Warden got a bunch. He leveled up. Spectre. Oh, actually Spectre got that kill. I didn't realize. But the point is, how did we just lose that fight? We were 10k ahead with Aegis. And yeah, we got racks, but we lost Aegis and we lost 2 heroes. And now we are stuck. We have to wait. Aegis died at 28:05, which means we should have had it until 33:05. We now have to wait a full minute plus for Lina to come back. At this point, we're still in the lead, but we can't actually do anything until all our heroes are up. The enemy team has bought themselves an extra minute or 2. More, because, heck, they should have lost with this Aegis. Ideally, like, we would have won the game if we were Dire with this Aegis, cleanly taking a fight, maybe getting 2 sets of racks for this Aegis. Instead, we only got 1, and we actually lost a fairly... Yeah, it's not... It wasn't like a massive fight where, like, you lose everyone, but we just shouldn't even have lost 2 heroes. Maybe a support dies, but the Lina and the Aegis, that's crazy. Now, I sped up a little bit. We're only about 30 seconds ahead. Finally, we're getting together a second push down here. But because we had to wait for Lina to respawn, it's been a long time. So imagine if we still had the Aegis, but Lina had died in that fight. Okay, we've got Aegis, we're kind of strong. But we would have like 15 seconds with Aegis. It was really important for her not to die because she has this massive cooldown timer and we lost all that time. This team bought time. And now, Spectre almost has Haunt again. Now, ideally, she uses Haunt here. Okay, maybe we lose that fight. We lose a support or 2. The supports are up. We go again. We have Aegis. She doesn't have Haunt. We are very strong right now. Wait, Lina died. We had to wait so long that by the time we are finally here to push again, they have all their abilities again. And we don't have the advantage we should have. We don't have Aegis. That's kind of the big thing. We don't have Aegis. And last time, Wind Ranger was dead. Now it's a 5-on-5, and... Oh, like, we're just not as strong as we should be. But we're still in a decent lead. Like, maybe we can still win. But wait. No. They're going to win this fight. Let's slow down a little bit. That looks okay up to here. But now support's going to start dying. Don't even kill this Night Stalker, I think. We're going to get anyone else? No, just Wyvern dies. Is that bad? Oh, wait. Okay, looks like just Wyvern dies. In a better world, in a more ideal game, we would have this Rax and we wouldn't have lost. Because we would have had Aegis, we wouldn't have lost it earlier. So now the enemy team has defended again, a second push, despite being 10k behind. Even though just Wyvern died, this is still a big deal. Spectre is getting the farm she needs. She's now got a Basher. That's pretty scary. Arc Warden getting very farmed. Has his Hex, has all this stuff now going. The game is getting closer. even though they still have a 9k lead, this matters less and less. Like, being 9k ahead at 28 minutes, that's huge. Being 9k ahead at 50 minutes, it's like not such a big deal. So the more this team is dragging it out, the better for Radiant, and the worst for our Dire team. All right, let's look at another set of chain events. Leshrac tries to kill this Arc Warden clone. Uh-oh, what's this? Leshrac is dead. Didn't get the clone. What does it mean? 70 seconds on Leshrac. He needed to play safe because Roshan was about to spawn soon. I mean, you don't know the exact timing, but we did get at 28:05, which means right around this time it can start to spawn. We need to play careful and not do the things like that where we risk our lives. Now, unluckily, Roshan does spawn at this time, so Radiant is going to get it because Leshrac is dead. Now, this is extra bad because we missed our first push timing as the Dire. What we want to do then is to get the next Aegis and try again. Doesn't look like we're going to get the next Aegis, though. And now, Radiant has bought themselves at least 5 minutes where they are stronger. They have the Aegis. This Aegis is worth a lot on a carry. Okay, we're the Dire. We don't really want to take fights for the next 5 minutes. What does that put us at? 42 minutes? And honestly, at that point, we don't really want to take a direct 5-on-5 fight, so we kind of want to wait for the next Aegis, which is 8 to 11 minutes. Do you see that we are getting towards that 40-50 minute mark where we said, oh, 9k doesn't matter as much now, and in fact we're dropping in terms of our net worth a little bit? Losing the second Aegis, really painful. And I would actually honestly kind of say that we've kind of missed our window as the Dire already. I'm starting to feel pretty bad if I play Dire because it's Spectre and Arc Warden. Obviously, this game goes on for much longer, so it wasn't a total, like, we aren't definitely going to lose now that we're at 38 minutes and we don't have second Aegis, but this is one of the windows we would have liked to take to close out the game in the next, like, 5 minutes. If we had Aegis right now, we try to end the game with this Aegis in the next, like, 5 minutes. But we missed that window, and so the game extends. It pushes us into the ultra late game. Now, even with Aegis, they're still scared, but like they don't mind because Spectre, Arc Warden, extremely strong in the late game, just because of how mobile they are. They end up. AM is mobile in the, like, we're actually zoomed out, which is great. He's mobile in the sense he can be like in this whole screen very quickly, but he cannot be in the top part of the map very fast. He's not mobile in that sense, in a global sense. Spectre and Arc Warden, they are globally mobile heroes while being immobile in like the smaller area. Well, Spectre's actually pretty mobile in the smaller area, but compared to AM, she's still like not that mobile. But they are globally mobile. And in the late game and the ultra late game, being globally mobile is way better than what AM can do. Like, oh, I'm here, now I'm here. Spectre's up here farming alone. AM's here by himself, and he sees one enemy hero. Just kidding. Spectre is here as well when she haunts in. That is extremely powerful in the late and ultra late. And the ultra late game is really just about killing heroes and getting buybacks and pushing the team fights into like a 4v5. It no longer becomes about like farming the most, all of that stuff. It like loses meaning. Gold is senseless in a way. That's a great example, by the way. We were going too fast. Another great example of why Arc Warden is fantastic in the late game. No risk to the hero. Sends out a clone. Kills a core hero for 1,000 gold. Absurd. Absolutely no risk to Arc Warden. I mean, he might feed a bit of golden experience, right, on his clone, but who cares? He'll have his clone again in, 40 seconds is the cooldown, and the uptime or the downtime is only 14 seconds. This guy's dead for 84 seconds. Hugely different. Arc Warden is really powerful in the late game. They don't even kill the Arc Warden clone, I don't think. And again, we're buying time. Dire cannot push until Leshrac is up. We have bought ourselves another 80 seconds with that kill. Let's speed up a little. He gets a Wind Ranger kill. That's pretty cool. But Wind Ranger's support versus a full-on core. Arc Warden possibly could have killed Gibbs here by himself if he wasn't, if AM hadn't been in the area. And he can do this every 40 seconds. is really irritating to play against Arc Warden in the late game. Also, something I forgot to say, AM 6 slotted. Going back to our idea that AM is not a late game hero. The reason AM is strong is because... Okay, he's got his MKB. He is 6 slotted. Level 26. Essentially max level. He could reach 30 and get all these extra talents. That's pretty rare, though. It's going to happen this game, but usually getting to that point is pretty rare. 25 is essentially the peak of a hero, and so is being 6 slotted. Of course, we could replace treads. We could get better neutrals. Let's not worry about that. It's 37 minutes in the game. Spectre? 3 items. Arc Warden? I would say Arc Warden is essentially 6 slotted as well. He could replace his Midas, sure. But the other heroes in the game, they're like nowhere... I mean, they're kind of near being 6 slotted, but not in the same way AM is. And Arc Warden ideally would not be doing this well. The point is, Anti-mage tries to hit this power timing where he is like, this is about as strong as I can get. I can only scale a little bit further, and it's 37 minutes. Whereas most other carries, like Spectre, still have like 2 more slots they need to fill up if we include the tread. So she's at like 4 slots. 6 to 4 slots. Kind of silly, don't you think? Actually, let's make sure she didn't have another item on her way or something. Yeah, she didn't. Point is, this is the time for Anti-mage to win the game. Not the ultra late. It's like right now. This is where he's the strongest. Next, window of opportunity. So we have our slotted Anti-mage. He is ready to fight. Our Lena is here. She just TP'd in. She picked up an Invis rune. Enemy team recently used Arc Warden clone. He's coming down to the fight. If we kill this, he won't have it for a bit. Real hero, not here yet. This is a good time to push as any. Of course, we still want to be a little careful. But we're pretty strong right now. Let's slow it down. So here we go. Clone. Gonna die. Okay. That is a lot of Arc Warden strength. Down. This is Fortify down. Still in a decent spot here. Watch the fight. Spectre haunts in to chase this illusion on her own. She's still, like, she's not 6 slotted like this Anti-mage. She's massively caught up before where, okay, technically she's still like 9k gold behind, but if you look at the items, like, what does he spend his money on? He can't really spend it on that much. So she's essentially pretty much caught up with him. Anti-mage as a hero. These do not... well, let's just show it. Look, she's up here by herself. I don't know, just an idea. Maybe kill her. 5 heroes on 1. Just a thought. Or, you know, a mobile hero. We said he's very mobile on the screen, right? I don't know, blink this backline that is kind of weak and doesn't want to get jumped on. And, like, BKB, Abyssal, kill them. I don't know. Nah. Look at this. He hits the tower at 44.58. This doesn't affect towers. This does not 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 affect towers. He saves this to be safe, which I don't blame him, but it could help him get towers. It takes him 13 seconds to get this tower. Let's watch the fight instead. He's hitting towers this whole time, okay? So these guys could be struggling right now. This ult could have been canceled with a bash. This guy could be not attacking right now because he would be being gone on. Or maybe this Night Stalker could be killed right now. Massively lose this fight. Hey, we got the tower. I think this is a huge mistake. Anti-mage is a hero who kills people. He is not necessarily a tower taker, which sounds weird. But if you think about his abilities, reduces spell damage done to him. Reduces enemy mana so that they can't cast spells, and it does damage to them. Burns people based on how much mana they've lost, right? Slows, reduces healing, splits the damage he deals to heroes, bashes, procs a magic bonus attack. Like, he is a hero killer, not a tower taker. He doesn't have armor reduction. He doesn't have innate attack speed besides like a very good base attack time. Like, don't get me wrong, he's good at taking towers, but he's better at killing heroes. The reason Anti-mage takes so many buildings in games usually is because he's split pushing while the enemy team is not there. He takes buildings uncontested. And he doesn't take them that fast compared to other heroes. He just takes them uncontested. So when a team fight breaks out like this, and I personally think that, you know, Spectre Haunt is very strong in a team fight, but Anti-mage is very strong right now. And I would say Anti-mage can easily kill some of these backline heroes. I really think Anti-mage needs to fight with his team right there. And instead, he just traded like 3 heroes for a tier 3 tower. What do they even care? They have some of the best heroes at defending split push in the game. Spectre and Arc Warden. You know, who cares? Comparatively, a Lifestealer... I'll put up a clip here. Comparatively, Lifestealer can kill a tower and the racks in about 15 seconds. If you give him, like, the Illusionist Cape for whatever reason, or maybe an Orb of Destruction. Now you might be saying, oh, that's not a fair comparison, like Lifestealer versus Anti-mage. Like, Lifestealer has these different items that help him take towers. Yeah, that is the point. He itemized... Well, not necessarily itemized to take towers, but his items help him take towers faster. And so if Lifestealer were to choose to split push, it makes a bit more sense because he can do it really quickly. But I would still say Lifestealer actually wants to fight heroes. Anti-mage, his items don't, like, take the buildings that fast. And why not just kill the enemy heroes and then take the buildings after you win a team fight? Especially because, well, I guess you don't know who doesn't have buyback, but they don't. So to me, it's a big mistake. And then Anti-mage goes off on his own, almost dies here. Just kidding. Not that close to dying. He's going to Manta out. Still chooses to do a bit of farming, though. Kind of a precarious role. Gets shackled here. Real Arc Warden comes in. It took them kind of a while to kill him, though. Even though he was by himself against 2 heroes, and he was, like, hexed and shackled for a long period of time, you see he almost killed this Wind Ranger, and then, like, it still took time for both of them to kill him. What if that had happened back here when he still had a full team alive, instead of, like, being alone farming and dying? So this is, like, a huge, huge throw in my opinion. Now we've jumped forward in time again. We're now at 52 minutes. Look at another mistake. Okay, cutting a wave. This is great. And going bottom, or going down mid to split push, also good, because these creeps are pushing in, which means backdoor is going to go down, and Anti-mage he could skip this wave, maybe leave an illusion to farm it. He just rushes down to these and threatens to mega the opponents, which, by the way, the Dire has recently lost the fight, so the enemy team is trying to push. What are they going to do? Spectre doesn't have Haunt, so she can't Haunt back. She has to TP. Arc Warden, okay, he can TP back. But Arc Warden one-on-one versus Anti-mage, like, that's kind of scary. You kind of need to pull multiple heroes back. And because you still have this tier 2 tower, you know they can't mega you. And so they would have to choose to try to end the game. That's a little scary, though, because you don't know if the enemy heroes have buyback. So you'd rather just get these buildings. And if you try to force buyback, and then the enemy team buys... Or, I'm sorry, if you try to end the game, and the enemy team buys back to defend, now you're like, okay, shoot, we have to leave, because we can't, like, we're going to be stopped if we try to end the game. Whereas Anti-mage is, like, freely killing megas and threatening to end the game. We need to get back. But now it's very difficult to get back because the enemy team has so many different stuns to prevent us from TPing home. So, I don't know. It's very important to, like, rush down there. But instead, Anti-mage chooses to run back. I don't know. I know this teleport's on cooldown, but 26 seconds. I don't really care about this rack. As long as the enemy team doesn't end the game, I think it's way better for Anti-mage to push down here and threaten them to come back. I think he is, like, I think that way defends by being aggressive. Now let's look at this. Remember when I was like, I wish that AM just jumps the back line and kills them while Spectre's up here by herself in a 5-on-5 team fight, right? Now he jumps the Arc Warden when it's 2-on-5. Slow down. Almost kills Arc Warden. This could have happened down here in this team fight. But instead he does this, and because Gibbs isn't, I don't know if there's any communication. Gibbs isn't ready at all, right? He's got detection, but he's like, I didn't expect you to jump 2-on-5. Neither did Lena. Now she's forced to buy back, even though she only had like 16 seconds left on her buyback, or on her respawn timer. Now she has to buy back because AM is jumping 2-on-5, and you don't want this guy to die alone. Although I still don't think she should have bought back, actually. But I think this is like a mistake from Anti-mage. Like, why is he choosing now to jump the Arc Warden 2-on-5 and not here when it was a 5-on-5? And it's like, it's showing, it's working. Arc Warden is much more farmed now, and he still almost died to AM. It definitely could have happened like 10 minutes ago. Now she comes out a little too far. She's gonna die back. Now she doesn't have buyback. And now this is actually game losing, in my opinion. It's like so bad that she just did that. It's not fully her fault. I kind of think it's the AM who shouldn't have done that. Now this guy's gonna die. So we're still losing the fight, even though we came back and did all that. And we don't have these racks. We didn't pressure bottom or anything. But to emphasize how this could have happened 10 minutes ago. 1 second. It's gonna happen soon. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Real Arc Warden. Trying to slip into the base. They have a sentry here. Because the enemy team is split up a bit, we kill Arc Warden real fast. The backline damage. Now Spectre's kind of on her own. Oh, no, this guy got yeeted into the back. We're going to kill him. Just kidding. During this time, Anti-mage is jumping the backline like he should have done 10 minutes ago. He's going to kill the Wind Ranger really easily because that's what he does to supports. He kills them. Now he comes in and kills the Night Stalker. Now Spectre's alone. Now we focus her. I don't fully know. Actually, I know how you guys did it. You did it because the enemy team was all split up. You just won a 3-on-5 and you killed 4 heroes, which is pretty absurd. That's a pretty big throw from the enemy team. It makes no sense that you were able to do it. Except it does make sense because you didn't take a 3-on-5. You took a 3-on-1, a 2-on-1, while Anti-mage was jumping backline supports one at a time. Like, all these mini fights were favorable for you, and it's because the enemy team was split up. It should never have happened. It's a big mistake from the enemy team, but that is what happened. And that could have happened back here. Spectre was against 4 heroes. Anti-mage jumps the back line. Kills a couple. When we were in a way better spot. But now it's like, okay, now we're 2 racks down versus their 2 racks. Now it's kind of like, we're honestly behind. We're behind because they have better late game heroes than we do. I've jumped forward in time again. We're going to look at buyback status here. The enemy team does not have buyback on Spectre and Arc Warden, and you guys know that. Now, you don't have buyback on some of your heroes as well, but you're about to get Aegis and a whole bunch of goodies. You did get Megas as well. If I'm your team, I'm thinking, all right, we have 2 options. We pick off one of either Arc Warden or Spectre. We'll be stronger because we have Aegis. If we kill one of them, we probably just end the game with Megas and we win. Now, how do we get that pick off? We get a bunch of vision around the outside, so we see anyone try to split push. And if none of them leave, they all sit in their base. Well, actually, that's a little hard for us to jump them in their base. It is a little scary, and we don't want to quite do that. What's our next power window opportunity then? Whether it could be a really good rune at 58 or 60 minutes. Like a double damage, that would be really strong. That would help us push. At 60 minutes, tier 5 neutrals also open up. And if we have established this vision, and we have Aegis, so they're very scared. They know they don't have buybacks. They're very scared to leave. That means we can freely grab all the tier 5s for our team before they can get any. And that is a massive power spike because tier 5 items are stupid. They are busted. Admittedly, I have not played that many games that go to tier 5, and I don't think many people have. So it's a little scary and a little like, I don't know what the most optimal here to take what tier 5 item is. But still, having tier 5 items versus a team that does not is a crazy, crazy advantage. So having established that, let's launch. We get Aegis here at 57:32 about. That gives us 5 minutes, which would go into the tier 5 60 minutes. So I wouldn't mind waiting out half of Aegis's duration to get those tier 5s real quickly. It is a little unfortunate. So, you know what? If we can get a pick off before that, then that's fine. I'm happy to win sooner rather than later. It's very important to all stay together, though. The Wind Ranger, she's a little up, but she was hiding in trees, being very careful. Trying to get this ward down. This is actually pretty smart because you know you need to sneak your courier around. It's kind of good to have vision in this area. Nice. Just watch the minimap during this time. We're starting to split up. This is actually a little scary to me. If anyone dies, you don't want to buy back. But it's going to delay your push by, at this point, well over a minute. And that would give the enemy team a chance to push up and possibly get their tier 5 items. So to me, it's very important that you guys don't do this and you're all together. I don't think you guys actually get punished for this, but I would still be scared. Let's watch your vision, actually. You sort of have that circle of vision we were talking about. Could be a little better, but you know what? Wards are a little limited at this point of the game. We're killing off Arc Warden clones. At this point, we're getting very close to 60 minutes, so I'm not really feeling the let's hope for a pickoff, because they're just kind of camping in their base. And you know what? That's fine. Let's get those tier 5 neutrals. We don't have to go crazy. And that's what you guys are sort of doing. Although, like, you guys are positioning kind of aggressively here, and Lina's not here. You know, like, why? Again, you're not punished for this, but why take this risk, like a 4v5 in their base, when Lina, who has the Aegis, is not even here? That's kind of scary. And we do get out. Doesn't end up being a big deal. Any of those mistakes could lead to something, though. Let's get our tier 5s. We're farming them, farming them. We got 3 of them. Enemy team does not have any. A little longer. Let's just watch the enemy team, actually. Look at them stuck in their base. They're all just sitting here because they're all scared. They know that any of them dying could lead to the end of the game. Tier 5, we have them all. We still have another minute and a half on Aegis. It is go time. Split up those items and go. Book of the Dead, you could just throw that on the tower while you guys lead to a fight. These guys do not have buyback. You have Aegis. He has buyback. You guys have multiple buybacks, and you have bots to go with it. This guy has tons of money to buy bots if he needs to. Like, to me, this is your biggest window. Any later than this, the game is very difficult, even though you have Aegis, because they have Spectre and Arc Warden. I really don't want to go later, even though technically we're in the lead with the Megas. To me, this is like throw everything we have at this to end the game. And I'm telling that as a support, I'm saying, like, look, we just need to jump Arc Warden or Spectre. We have Aegis on Lina. We have buybacks and bots on our heroes. I think even Wyvern gets bots at some points, but she has the money to buy back and buy bots. So, like, we throw all our resources right here. They do not have enough buybacks, and we could just end the game. Like, how much stronger could we get than having no buybacks on their 2 main cores? We have buyback on one. We have Aegis on another. We have multiple bots. We have tier 5s. They don't. Arc Warden clone is dead. That's like half his power. I mean, he has a little longer till he... It's not a long cooldown, but still, he doesn't have it for like 30 seconds. You guys don't even have to go crazy. Lina just stand right here and hit this tower with her super long range. And you guys all stand behind her. AM waits to jump someone. Wyvern waits to blink ult someone. This guy stands in the back. Maybe he can also sort of be on the front line. I don't think he wants to. I think Lina has the longest range, and she just safely pokes these towers with the mega creeps coming in and force the enemy team to jump in. I don't like what you guys are doing, like being this split up. And we'll see. This is going to be your downfall, actually, on this push attempt. It's like Wyvern. Pretty solid ult, actually. She gets it on top of Arc Warden. She ults the Wyvern, or the Wind Ranger. I don't know, I kind of feel like, ideally, maybe it would be... Actually, I won't complain. All in all, you're getting a free kill here. That's pretty good. And while 3 of the heroes are wrapped up, this would be a great time to kill the Night Stalker or the Spectre. But instead, both the cores, or at least the... Okay, one core, not even nearby. Like, no one was ready for Wyvern to jump in. Anti-mage spends the time hitting a tower. Like, who cares about the tower right now? Just win the team fight, and then you can end the game. And we had like 3 seconds where 3 of the heroes can't do anything, and we chose to hit a tower instead of like killing another hero who doesn't have buyback. Maybe you guys don't know that, but he doesn't, and he's a hero. He just used ult, so if we kill him now, even if he buys back, he's going to be way weaker. We use our BKB on a silence. Now we do kill him, but in this time, she still hasn't all haunted yet. Now she haunts. Where's our team? We got 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. We're very spread out. Spectre loves that. To come kill a support right away, and now kill another core. And none of you guys can do anything because you're way out here. He's farming. What the heck? He's farming. To me, this is throw resources at them. Like, why are we leaving? If we had all been grouped, this would be better. Unfortunately, he doesn't have buyback. But if he did, you know, he just dies and buys back. Like, or they're chasing Leshrac right now. 3 of their heroes here. Why isn't Lina and Anti-mage, like, diving this Arc Warden or taking this tower? I don't know. Splitting up like that, I mean, it's understandable. It's a very high-stress game. Not to flame too hard. But the funny thing is like, now Wyvern buys back. And it's like, this is very unfortunate timing. So the Aegis just expired. That's why we kind of wanted to ideally have done this a bit sooner. The Aegis dying right now is very unfortunate. But to me, because she doesn't have buyback, as soon as you know she doesn't have... she can't die, is what I'm getting to. Like, we absolutely cannot allow her to die. So, finally, a critique on you, Gibbs. I think you need to get in here, like, immediately. Throw your life away, because you have buyback, and any second they're hitting you, they're not hitting her. Wyvern? I don't know what Wyvern's doing. She has 2 mobility items. Now, I think... Okay, you did use your E-Blade to save her, so that's pretty good. But, like, watch Anti-mage. He's finally doing what Anti-mages need to do. He's just killing backline supports. And now here, okay, we cast the Glimmer on her. You're here, you rolled in, you missed it. I don't know, she's just holding her ult for what, but like the Lina's here dying without Aegis. I think you just need to like Yule someone, roll in, buy as much time as you possibly can. Like, I don't think you want to run away right now. You've got roll on 4 seconds with a 1.6. You got a 2.5 disable right here. Just like buy her time while Anti-mage is killing off the backline, and then Anti-mage can jump into this fight. Wyvern too, like, I don't know, Cold Embrace the Lina, ult someone, force Lina away. But now she dies. And now it's awkward because she doesn't have buyback. And like, look how close we are to winning the game. These guys have no buyback. 3 heroes remaining. None of them have buyback. Like, 1 more kill will change the fight. You guys both have buybacks. Like, that's why if you roll in and die, immediately buy back and join in. If you can either save Lina or help Anti-mage kill one of these guys, that would be the end of the game right here. I don't know. We didn't take the fight. So from here, we don't need to watch the rest because it is 30 more minutes of a late game draft, holding megas, and then eventually winning enough fights to win the game. And to me, what we just watched was like 35 minutes of windows where we could have won, but did not because of various mistakes. And now, that doesn't mean you guys have guaranteed lost for the next 30 minutes, but it's just way harder, where the game plan is essentially the same. We need to get pickoffs, and we need to get someone who doesn't have buyback. We need like Aegis. We need to try to establish ourselves in a position of power. But at this point, the enemy team is going to start getting tier 5 items, and like we talked about, Arc Warden and Spectre, they're much stronger in the late game than an Anti-mage and Alina. Even a Leshrac, I would say, is weaker. Well, it kind of depends on the situation. But I just think the window is over. And it's like, it's now on the enemy team to make a mistake to lose the game, rather than you guys, like, a play you can make to win. So you could still win, but ideally, these last 35 minutes is when you would have won. And now win rate is going to get salty right now. I don't know. How long is this? This is a really long video. This is not quite a usual why did I lose, but I did want to take this moment to look at it because, oh, by the way, guys, Gibbs is an immortal player, so this is like a very high level game. I'm going to say that at the very end now, which is to say that this can happen at any rank if it happens even at immortal. But also to highlight that, I don't know, rather than look at the next 30 minutes of like, okay, how could we win from this situation? It's like, actually, we should have looked forward and it's like, why didn't we win already? And we just saw why, because we were like split up, we were getting people killed off, we weren't taking the fights when we were strong. I think it's important to recognize, like, Anti-mage, not an ultra late game hero, so we need to try to win right now. When are we at our strongest? Hey, this is a window where we're strong. This is a window where we're strong. And you need to try to end the game in those times. And if you don't, then the games get dragged out like we've seen. And they start to approach the point where just whoever has the strongest late game draft wins. This is why in pubs, at low ranked pubs, when people pick 4 cores, it works out because no one ends the game quickly. They just let it drag out to like 50 plus minutes. And then all the cores have farm that they shouldn't have. and then they win, and it's like, oh, that's so busted. Not really. It's just like we should have ended the game sooner. We need to identify when we're strong and just end the game. So that's it for this one. That's it after like 40 minutes. But thank you for watching. I actually love ultra late game stuff. I think it's really interesting. It's really tense, but most of the time it like shouldn't get to that point. I think eventually we'll do a video focused on playing the ultra late game, but not quite yet because I'm not ready for it, I think. So thank you. Have a good day.